Welcome back to the channel, guys. As always, thanks so much for being here, clicking on this video and joining me as we dive back into the Wizarding world. So we're starting off this video in a slightly different way. From today onwards, I am officially a Ravenclaw Prefect. As you can see there, I've got my Ravenclaw Prefect badge. It's a little sweet enamel badge, actually. I ordered it from Amazon. It got here quite quickly. So I'm going to be wearing that on my, I'm going to be wearing it on my shirt when I go to the Back to Hogwarts event in London. And also, I'm going to be wearing my Ravenclaw patch as well. I'm sure you guys have probably seen, I had it on my black shirt. I was wearing it on the videos over the last few days, but unfortunately, the glue on the back, I ironed it onto my shirt, and unfortunately, it's come off, so I'm going to have to stitch it back on. But yeah, I've got my patch, and I've got my Prefect badge as well. So, although being a Prefect, now that I think about it, it comes along with a lot of responsibility, and I'm not quite sure I'm responsible enough to be one. But either way, I'm going to wear it anyway. But anyway, let's get into today's topics. That's enough of me rambling, I guess. Okay, so we're going to start off here. Odeon, your Hogwarts letter may still be lost in the post, but this has arrived. The Spellbound Collector's combo is available now at Odeon. And the reason I'm covering this, we've already talked about the popcorn buckets on the channel before, but Odeon is my local cinema. I have a yearly membership at Odeon, so I can watch unlimited films, and for the longest time, there was no news about any of the Harry Potter popcorn buckets coming to my cinema. Now, they've officially released the information that this collector's tin is coming to Odeon. I'm going to watch The Philosopher's Stone tomorrow, 1 PM on the big screen in my local town. I cannot wait to go and watch it back on the big screen with a cinema full of audience, full of fans to experience it together, get my hands on this beautiful popcorn bucket as well, and it's going to be such a fun time. 1 o'clock tomorrow, I'll be watching The Philosopher's Stone back on the big screen, the way it was meant to be seen. So that's really, really exciting. Okay, up next, moving on to this one. Pre-orders are now live. Speciality series exclusive Harry Potter Funko Pops, including the following. So there's Funko Pocket Pop Keychain Random 4-pack. So I'm assuming that means when it says Random 4-pack, you get a pack of these keychains and they're like random characters. You've got the Hogwarts Castle Funko Bitty Bop display bundle. You get Fawkes, Dumbledore, and Hedwig as well. And this is some of them here. So this is the mystery kind of keychain pack here. Then we've got the other ones. We've got Dumbledore, Hedwig, we've got Fawkes as well, and also we've got the Hogwarts Castle as well. And this is kind of fun because this isn't really a Funko Pop, it's more of a display. So you buy the Hogwarts Castle and then you put your Funko Pops on the display stand of the Hogwarts Castle. So that's kind of really, really fun. If we just click onto the website quickly, and by the way, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not sponsored by this company. I make no commission. I'm just purely talking about it from a fan perspective. You can go over to their website now and you can see the prices and you can pre-order these Funko Pops. I know Funko Pops are huge. I know a lot of you guys out there love this kind of stuff and collect these kind of things. So I just wanted to kind of bring it to your attention. I'll link this website down below in the description as well. So if you are interested and you do want to pre-order some of this stuff, you can find it in the linked in the description below. And again, just a quick side note, I don't make any commission. I'm not working for the company. I'm not sponsored. They haven't contacted me in any way to sell these. I'm purely looking at this from a fan perspective. And I always make that note whenever I'm looking at merchandise, just so you guys know that I'm making no commission and I'm not trying to sell you anything. I always just like to make that clear. Okay, moving on to the next one here. So this topic, completely different topic here. At a Christian school in Queensland, children have been banned from dressing as some of the most recognizable characters in literature. Keeping with the Christian values of our school, we would ask that there be no wizards or witches. So, the rule effectively excludes all characters from the Harry Potter series. So, kids are outright banned. When it comes to National Book Day, or whatever the event is, what was it called? Yeah, I think it's called, Children's Book Week, sorry. Children's Book Week. So they've effectively banned any of the students or faculty dressing as witches or wizards from the Harry Potter franchise. So the stated aim across these rules is to keep Children's Book Week focused on books and reading, not on Hollywood novelty dress-ups. And then I put down below, are they really avoiding focus on costumes, or is this just an excuse to avoid dealing with any controversy? So they're saying that they're a Christian school. They want the focus to be on reading and books. They don't want the focus to be on costumes. But is that really the reason why they're banning Harry Potter dress-ups at their school? I think that this is a convenient excuse so that they can do away with the Harry Potter costumes and they don't have to deal with any of the kind of the backlash or the controversy it could potentially could potentially bring to the school. The headmaster's like, you know what, if we just say it's to do with the books and not the costumes, and we avoid the costumes, then that way we can circumnavigate the kind of controversy around dressing up as Harry Potter characters. I mean, it's a bit convenient for me, but guys, what do you think? Do you think they're actually being true, and they're saying, because we're religious, we want to focus on the books, we don't want to focus on dressing up, we want to focus on reading and literature, and we want to avoid the costumes? Or are they just trying to navigate around a kind of a controversial, potentially controversial situation? It shouldn't be controversial, but obviously it is to a lot of people in this day and age. So let me know what you think about that interesting story. Okay, let's keep going. So, rumor but not confirmed. And we have covered this on the channel before, but there's a lot of new subscribers, a lot of new viewers. It's been a hot minute since we've covered this, so I'll just go into it again quickly. So, from the Bricking It podcast, they're reporting that the mystery top right section of the Bedford Universal Park, and a quick update, the Bedford Universal Park is the brand new Universal Park that's been commissioned to open in Bedford, just outside of London. It's due to open in 2031 here in the UK, and it's going to be similar in the vein of the Universal Parks, that's in Orlando and Florida and places like that. Which is due to open in 2031. It's actually based on Harry Potter, not Lord of the Rings as previously thought. It's said to be based on the Hogsmeade design. So this is the actual concept art image that was put out for the Bedford Universal Park that's coming to the UK. Again, due to open in 2031. And there's a mystery building up here in the top right hand corner. And the Bricking It podcast has said, it's based on rumor, and there's nothing to substantiate this, but they're reporting that this mystery building, it was originally thought that it could be for Lord of the Rings, a Lord of the Rings kind of world, and now they're saying that it could potentially be for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and it's going to be based on a design of the Hogsmeade Village, which is really exciting. This place is only about 2 hours from my house, so if they do in fact build a Wizarding World, I'm going to be there like every weekend. I'm going to get one of those like annual tickets, and I will be there all the time. If I hop on my motorbike and drive quite quickly, I could probably be there in just over an hour and a half. I would be there all day, every day, try and kick me out. I would spend all my time just chilling in the Wizarding World. It'd be so fun. But yeah, I just wanted to give you an update there. So previously thought it was Lord of the Rings. Now they're reporting that it could be the Wizarding World based on a Hogsmeade design, which is really exciting. And I hope that is the case. I really, really do. Because it's only just across the motorway from the Harry Potter studio tour. So technically, they could release a ticket. So you could go to the studio tour and you could visit the Wizarding World theme park here. You could get that in one ticket. And I think that'd be kind of a cool combo ticket that they could do. But anyway, let me know what you think about that. So, would you visit the Wizarding World here in the UK if they open one? Let me know your thoughts about it. Okay, let's keep going. So up next, Harry Potter Back to Hogwarts initiative to donate over 200,000 books to schools and hospitals. I love this kind of thing. I really do. I think this is awesome. So yeah, I mean, in this day and age when, kids are growing up, just absolutely stuck on their iPad, stuck on their video games, stuck on social media, to be giving out hundreds of thousands of free books to kids, trying to get them off their electronic devices, trying to get them to read physical books, rather than reading books on an e-reader or listening to audiobooks, having a physical book, I think it's just a classic way to, read literature. I'm not knocking people who read electronic books, by the way. That's great if you do that. But I think it's just wonderful to give kids, a physical book that they can open, they can read, they can share with their family. Maybe their parents can read it to them, and giving it to some of the most vulnerable kids in society as well. Underserved communities in the US here, and people that are in hospital and things like that. Just wonderful. Okay, so let's get into some of the details. So 200,000 books to schools and hospitals. Scholastic will give away 100,000 copies of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, the first book in the J.K. Rowling's beloved novel series, to underserved communities across the US. So again, children who may be living below the poverty line, people, kids that are in hospital, kids in hospices and things like that. Kids that might not necessarily have access to books. So it's a wonderful thing. The publisher will also distribute the audiobook to 100,000 teachers affiliated with the book clubs in collaboration with Audible and Pottermore. That's fantastic as well. 100,000 audiobooks to teachers, so teachers can, read it with their students at school and all that kind of thing. Partners in France, Germany, Brazil, the Netherlands, Norway, Bulgaria, Finland, China, and Japan are giving copies of the books to schools, libraries, and hospitals in the US, UK, and internationally. So, I mean, across the board, there's so many different reasons why this is great. Again, I mean, just giving physical books, when all the kids are attached to their electronic devices, a physical book, going back to the way, you know, we're meant to read books in the physical form. I mean, just classic, old, great way to read books, and just wonderful. Giving it to kids who don't necessarily have access to books or can't afford to buy books for themselves. So that's just a wonderful thing. But not only that, you could spin it as well and say, this is a great thing to give to underserved communities as well. But not only that, it's kind of great marketing for the upcoming series as well, if you want to look at it from that angle. Get hundreds of thousands of copies of the Philosopher's Stone into as many hands of as many kids and families as you possibly can. You know, just get it out there across the entire world. Kids are going to read it, parents are going to read it, families are going to read it, right? They're going to get hooked on that book, they're going to fall in love with the characters, and then, oh, the series comes around in December. I mean, they're more likely to then go on to watch the series. Now that they've read the first book, they've loved it, they've enjoyed it, they've got family memories together that they've created reading the first book. And now the series comes around, they're more likely to watch it. So it benefits underserved communities, and it benefits the company as well, because it's kind of like advertising for the upcoming series. So it's kind of benefiting on all angles, which is kind of an incredible thing to do. So I mean, whoever came up with the idea, I tip my hat to you, tip my hat to those people. So let me know what you think about that. 200,000 books to underserved communities, but also kind of advertising the series at the same time. Let me know what you think. Okay, let's keep going. Up next, attendees at the Back to Hogwarts event in London, which I'm going to. Sorry, I'd just like to remind people, will receive a copy of the novel courtesy of Bloomsbury, as well as the audiobook version. So, I'm going to get another copy of the Philosopher's Stone. I've already got a copy of the Philosopher's Stone, the illustrated version, on the shelf behind me. You probably can't see it. It's probably a bit too far away. Yeah, so I'm going to get another copy of the Philosopher's Stone, and I'm going to get the audiobook version as well. That's amazing. So they must be giving it to every single person who goes through the Back to Hogwarts event in London. So that's amazing. I can't wait to get my hands on it. Whether it's going to be some sort of special fan edition, you know, like an exclusive version with exclusive artwork that's only exclusive to the event, or whether it's just going to be the bog standard book, I'm not sure. But it's going to be interesting to find out. Okay, let's keep going. We've got a couple more topics for us to get to here. Okay, I apologize, guys. I said 2 more topics, but we only have 1 more topic. This is our final and main topic of today's video. So, I was sat around this morning, right? I'm thinking like, okay, the HBO series, and my brain kind of races at 100 miles an hour, right? Being like a Ravenclaw, I'm always like thinking about stuff. It's kind of hard not to. And I'm thinking about the series, and I'm like, what kind of angle can we take for today's video? I'm always thinking about this kind of stuff. What would be interesting to the guys? What would they really like to discuss on the channel? What's something that we haven't looked at? And I thought, you know what? In the teaser trailer, the first teaser trailer for the Harry Potter series, a big component of the teaser seemed to be focused around Quidditch. So I thought, let's do a topic on Quidditch. Let's talk about the CGI and the flying sequences that we're going to be seeing from the Quidditch games in the first season. And it's something that worries me a little bit about the CGI and the flying, because we've seen, you know, countless times in countless movies, you know, when a creature, an object, a human, you know, when they're flying through the air and the physics doesn't quite look right when something's levitating off the ground, as something's kind of flying in the air, the kind of the physics and the weightlessness, it doesn't look right. Like the physics and the weight of the object doesn't quite match the way it would move. And it's something that I thought about to do with the flying sequences. What if they're flying on the broom and the physics isn't quite right and the person looks weightless and it looks blurry and it looks a bit weird, because we've seen it, you know, countless times in films. But anyway, let's get into this. Let's break it down and have a bit of a discussion about it. And I would love to get your views and insights into what you think about the flying and the CGI as well for the Quidditch games. Okay, so I posted this up earlier this morning. When it comes to the HBO Harry Potter series, I'm worried about the flying scenes because most movies struggle to make flying humans and creatures look natural. And this is what I mean by that. So trying to create accurate flying physics is insanely difficult. When it comes to CGI, you know, applying the physics to an object that's kind of floating in the air, you have to kind of add the weight, depending on how much something weighs. When it's floating in the air or flying, it's going to act very differently under gravity and physics. You know, something like For instance, say this patch, right? It weighs like a pound or less than a pound. If it's flying around in the air, it's going to act very, very differently than, say, if my Call of Duty statue is acting. This is going to weigh like 50 times the amount of this patch, and it's going to act very differently if it's floating around in the air. So like getting physics right on different objects that weigh different amounts is a very tricky thing to do. And sometimes in movies it looks really goofy and the effect doesn't look right. So as creatives, when it comes to flying, do they make the flying just look cool, or do they try and make it accurately represent the physics? That's an interesting question. So if you were a creative and you were making the CGI in the flying scenes in the Quidditch matches, would you think to yourself, you know what, I want to try and make this look as grounded and as realistic as possible when it comes to the physics and it comes to the flying? Or would you think, you know what, the physics is important, don't get us wrong, the physics is important to make it look kind of realistic to a point, but I mean, is making it look cool from an artistic perspective, is that more important than accurately representing the physics of a flying person on a broom? Do you get what I mean? Is it better to represent the art better or to represent the science and the physics better? Which kind of direction would you go? I guess because it's a storytelling medium of a series, you would make it look more cool than more realistic. You know, you would make the art of him flying, the CGI, make it look cool, make it look more cool to look at rather than it be realistic, if that makes sense. I guess that's the way they would normally go. But I would love to know what you think. Is it better to accurately represent the physics or better to make it just look cool as a scene? Whatever your thoughts are about that, do let me know. Okay, oftentimes, the physics on flying human creatures in a movie doesn't portray realistic physics and weight, and it comes off looking very clumsy as an effect on screen. And I've kind of already described that, you know, depending on the weight of an object, the aerodynamics of the object as well, it would move around very differently, and they can come off looking goofy if the physics aren't portrayed correctly. So, adding the correct amount of motion blur and the wind turbulence to a moving object can make or break the flying sequence as well. I've seen this in so many films, right? I'm sure you guys have seen it as well. You know, like when you see in a film when someone's flying, like a superhero is flying through the air, right? And they've got a bit of motion blur and the cape is like flapping, but their hair is completely still. And you're like, if this person was flying through the air at like 60 miles an hour, their hair would be waving all over the place, their costume would be rippling, and it's like, why is the only thing that's moving the cape? So it's like, if you don't apply the wind turbulence or the, you know, the motion blur or the physics of the costume moving, it breaks all the immersion of a flying kind of CGI scene. And that's just something I was thinking about. So, knowing Quidditch will be a big part of Season 1, I'm pretty sure they will do a great job, but I do still worry. So yeah, I mean, I've been watching House of Dragon recently, and the CGI on House of Dragon, man, like when it comes to the actual dragons themselves, I'm literally watching it, and then whenever a dragon appears on screen, I pause it, and I look at the dragon, and I look at all the details on the dragon, and I'm like, if this is what we can expect from the Harry Potter HBO series, obviously on HBO as well, I mean, looking at the dragon, looking at all the effects, the fire effects, all the little intricate details of the scales on the dragons, and I'm like, if they can use that level of detail and transplant that into the Harry Potter series, I know we're talking about dragons now instead of Quidditch, but I'm just saying, like, the level of CGI that they're kind of going to, the effort, if they sort of take that effort from the House of Dragon and put that into kind of like CGI, the CGI effects when it comes to like Quidditch, when it comes to other creatures, magical creatures in the Wizarding World, it's going to be pretty impressive to look at. But there we go. So I just want to kind of bring that up as a talking point. So, you know, like me, does it worry you that the Quidditch CGI could look weird if they don't apply the right physics and weight? Whatever your thoughts are about this, is it something you thought about, not thought about, or, you know, do you agree or disagree with my thoughts? Whatever your thinking is, let me know down below in the comment section. That's the great thing as fans. We can disagree on points, and we can still have a constructive kind of debate or you know, talking point about it. So like I say, let me know down below. And with that down, that brings us to the end of today's video. And by the way, I know I always say it, but thank you so much for all the support and the love on the content. You know, the views, the likes, the subscriptions to the channel. I really do appreciate all the support. It means the world to me, guys. Thank you so much for being here, continuing to check out the content. It really does it mean a lot. So thank you so much. And yeah, just really wonderful comments recently as well. And, you know, it really gets me right there sometimes, so. And yeah, so before you go as well, do make sure you hit the like button to help push this video out to the YouTube algorithm, support the video. Also hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so far, and hit that little notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video as well, because you don't want to miss any future content coming to the channel. And with all that good stuff, as always, I will see you in the very next video.